Hello everyone and welcome to a new IBMi RPG sample video. I have used this in other videos, but I wanted to make a special one where you could clearly see how to use fetch to load a specific number of rows into a data structure in one go. So let's go. Well, the first thing I'm gonna do is to create a simple table using DB2 for IBMi. As you know, this is a great new extension for VSCode where you can use SQL directly into your IBMi as if you were using ACS, but with a lot of great functionalities. You can watch the video where I talk about it in my channel. Okay, let's go to DB2 for IBMi. And now let's create a new table. For that, I'm going to create a new SQL document. Okay, Okay, and now let's create the new table. Okay, the new table is gonna be numbers, and let's create it. Well, I don't know if it is created, so I'm going to drop it first. Okay, and now let me create it. Create table, numbers, and it is gonna have one column, another one, the primary key is gonna be ID. Okay, so let's run it. Okay, and now let me add a few records. Well, I have the statements on the screen, so let me copy them. Okay, now let me run it. Okay, and well, of course you know that we can see the content of the table just using the select like this. Whoops. And the result is seen here. Okay, or you can of course go to schema browser and look for the table numbers that is here, and we can of course just pressing this button, it is creating the select directly. Okay, and you can see the result. Okay, well, let me close it. Well, now I'm gonna create now a simple example where I'm gonna try to get the whole content of my table into a data structure without using a loop. Okay, well, okay, let me go to code for I, and well, let me first of all change the filter, because I'm not filtering any of my sources. I can change it here, and I'm going to see, I only want to see the source that I'm going to work with. That is going to be this one. Save settings. Okay, as you see, the source is not seen, so I'm going to create it. Okay, now you can see it. Well, let me now write some code. Okay, main. Okay, let me set it a little bigger. Okay, Well, let me define number t. Number t is going to be a qualified template that I will use in my program to define a data structure to store the information that I get from the table. Okay, it is going to be it is going to have the same structure as the numbers table that I have just created. Okay, and now let me create the main procedure. Let me first of all create the structure numbers that is going to be like the as number t, and in this case it is going to be an automatic array, okay, of 1000 positions. Okay, well, now I'm going to create the cursor that I'm going to work with to get information from the table. Okay, I'm going to do this as SQL declare C1 cursor 4. Well, my recommendation is not to create the cursor with these names. Okay, you can the best thing you're gonna do is you should write here something with some sense. Okay, not only C1, but well, this is just an example. Okay, select ID and text are the two different columns that I have in my table. From numbers. Okay, well, very simple. This way I'm going to retrieve these two columns from the table. Okay, well, let's open and close the cursor. Remember that this is an example, and maybe you should not close the cursor after fetching the data. Okay, if you are going to run the program once and again. Okay, but as this is just an example, no problem. Okay, well, between these two operations, these two statements, let's retrieve the content of the table in one go using fetch. Okay, what we are going to do is this: fetch from C1, that is the cursor, for how many rows I'm going to get from the table. Okay, maximum 1000. Okay, of course we can change it as long as it does not exceed the maximum size of space that a program can store. Okay, as the data structure has 1000 elements declared, I'm going to put here 1000. Okay, if I put here 100, then I'm going to put here 100. Okay, well, rows into numbers. Okay, well, and now to know how many rows the statement has retrieved, we can use get diagnostics this way. Rows is equal to row count. Okay, well, it is very important to write the get diagnostics statement just after the fetch statement and never after the close cursor statement. Okay, if not, you are not going to get the correct number of row count. Okay, well, and the last thing I'm going to do is to set the element of my numbers structure to rows. Okay, great. And well, to know if the program works correctly, let's make a loop and write the content of every position of the data structure to the job log. Okay, a simple loop for a equal to 1 to lm of numbers. And I'm going to write here, for example, numbers a dot. Look, that automatically VSCode give me these two options for to write here. Okay, is numbers a dot text. Okay, well, I think it is all done. Just a few things more. A is gonna be, for example, and rows. I think it is all done. Okay, let me compile now the program. Great, this compiled. And well, to see if it works, we can go to the green screen. But well, in this case, we can run it directly from VSCode. So let me create here a filter. You see this filter programs. We can change it to see only the program test 129. Save settings. And if I select it using the mouse right button, we can choose run action. We can choose call program. And if I run it, this is what I get. Okay, so it seems to work correctly. Well, as you have seen, this is a great and very useful way of loading data into a data structure. Of course, this is not just for loading data from a table. You can, of course, load the data from a much more complex SQL query, or for example, from a view. And yes, it is very powerful. Using fetch is in this way, you can see the power that SQL has when it comes to handling large amounts of data. Well, I hope you liked the video and that it was useful to you. As always, remember to like and subscribe if you aren't already. See you on the next video. Thanks for watching.